I always thought cursed objects were like those stories you'd tell around a campfire, just to freak each other out.
Right.
But after reading through all this stuff that you sent over, I don't know. I'm not so sure.
Yeah, it is really interesting how these stories pop up all over the world about objects imbued with like strange powers. It's like this kind of universal human
fascination.
Curiosity. Yeah.
It's like walking past an antique shop and getting that shiver down your spine.
Right.
And you're wondering, do these things have more than meets the eye?
Exactly.
So that's what we're doing today. With this deep dive, we're going to unpack this whole cursed object thing.
I love it.
The history, the psychology, and of course, some really creepy stories.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
We're ready to jump in?
Absolutely. Let's explore that question. What if it's true?
Okay, so before we get to the truly terrifying stuff, and believe me, we've got some good ones lined up.
Okay.
Let's start with the basics. How do we even define a cursed object? I mean, is it just bad luck? Or are we talking about something more?
Yeah, it's definitely more than just spilling your coffee on yourself on the same day you get a flat tire.
Right.
A true cursed object is believed to carry this negative energy with it.
Okay.
Almost like an intention that can influence events around it or even harm the people who own it.
So it's not just a string of bad luck. We're talking like a pattern, like a shadow following this object.
Exactly. And often these misfortunes are eerily specific.
Okay.
They seem to align with what the origin of the curse is.
Which leads us to like the next part of this. Where do these curses come from?
From all sorts of places. Some are tied to tragic events. A violent death, a theft from a sacred place. The object becomes kind of a vessel for that residual energy.
Like a dark echo that just hangs around it.
Exactly. And then there are curses that are very deliberately placed on an object. Sometimes rituals or incantations are used.
Right.
That's when things get really interesting.
Yeah.
Because it lets us peek into the belief systems of the cultures where these curses came from.
So like by understanding the curse, we can understand more about history and the people who were afraid of it.
Precisely.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's like these objects are a window into the past.
Exactly. Take the Hope Diamond. It's a beautiful gem.
Right.
But its curse is rooted in this belief that it was stolen from a temple deity in India. It shows how much reverence people had for deities.
Right.
And their fear of divine retribution.
That is a really good point. It's not just about being scared. It's about understanding how people viewed the world.
Yeah.
And their beliefs about like the sacred and the unknown.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that those beliefs, those fears, they still resonate with us today.
It's true.
Even if we don't always think about it.
Yeah.
Why else would we be so drawn to these stories?
Yeah, it's like that fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
That there are things happening that we just can't see or understand.
Right.
And what's scarier than an object that looks totally normal,
Right.
but could be hiding a very dark secret?
Exactly. And speaking of scary stories,
Yeah.
are you ready to dive into some really infamous cases of cursed objects?
Oh, yeah.
Because we've got some doozies.
Yeah, I am ready. Hit me. All right, so let's talk about some objects that might make you want to sleep with the lights on tonight.
Yeah.
And I think we have to start with the Hope Diamond.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like when you think cursed object, that's what you think of.
It really is. It's like the poster child. And the story is so interesting.
Right.
How it's woven into history.
Yeah.
And these events and people. Like, it's hard to tell what's real and what's made up.
Yeah. So for those who maybe haven't heard the tragic tale of the Hope Diamond, what's the rundown? Like, where does this whole curse idea come from?
Well, the legend starts, like a lot of these stories do, with a theft. The belief is that the diamond was originally part of a statue of the Hindu goddess Sita in India.
Okay.
And when it was pried from the statue's eye, it unleashed this curse.
Talk about bad karma. And not to get too technical, but this wasn't like a, oh, you'll have some bad luck kind of curse.
Yeah.
This was some serious stuff, right?
We're talking like owners experiencing financial ruin to like really violent deaths.
Yeah. Like what?
So there was this French merchant, Jean-Baptiste Tavernier, and he supposedly died from a really high fever, like right after he sold the diamond.
Oh, no.
And then you have Princess de Lamballe, who was really close with Marie Antoinette.
Right.
And she was killed during the French Revolution.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Not great.
So it didn't get much better from there, I'm assuming.
No, it did not.
Didn't American Socialite own it at one point?
Yeah, Evelyn Walsh McLean. She bought it in 1911.
Okay.
And she was a really interesting character. She knew the history.
Right.
But she would still wear it out in public.
Almost like she was daring the curse
Oh, wow.
to come and get her.
And I'm guessing she had her own share of tragedy, too.
Sadly, yes. She had a lot of wealth and social standing, but still she went through a lot of personal tragedies.
Oh, no.
Like the deaths of her son and daughter.
Oh, gosh.
Her husband had a mental illness.
Wow.
And of course, she herself had declining health later in life.
See, it makes you wonder, even if you're not superstitious, it makes you wonder if there's something to that. Like, did knowing about the curse make it happen?
Right.
Like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It's impossible to say, but you do have to wonder about the power of our minds.
Right.
And how even just believing something can change how we experience things.
That's so true.
Okay, well, speaking of belief, let's move on to an object that is just dripping with creepy energy. The D-Book box. Now, this one isn't as sparkly as a diamond,
No.
but it's a whole different kind of scary.
Different vibe.
Yeah, so for those who aren't familiar, what is the D-Book box?
So it's this simple wine cabinet,
Okay.
but it's said to be haunted by a debuk, which is this malevolent spirit in Jewish folklore, and it can possess the living.
Okay. A haunted wine cabinet. You don't
Yeah.
hear that every day.
Not every day.
So where did this whole haunted cabinet thing even come from?
So this story goes that the box belonged to a Holocaust survivor,
Okay.
and during a seance, she used it to trap a dark entity.
Oh, gosh.
And after she died, the box was passed around, and that's when all this weird stuff started happening.
Okay, weird stuff. What are we talking about here?
Like really spooky stuff,
Yeah.
nightmares, sudden illnesses, unexplained smells, things moving on their own. One owner even said that they woke up one morning and their hair had been shaved off in the night.
Oh, my gosh, no.
Yeah. And another owner claimed that every light bulb in their house shattered at the exact same time, right after they brought the box home.
You'd think after like the first couple things you would get rid of that thing.
Right? Like it's time for this to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it still out there like wreaking havoc? What happened to it?
Well, it's changed hands a lot,
Really?
but it got really famous when it was sold on eBay.
You're kidding.
The seller included this whole long description
Really?
of everything that had happened.
Oh my gosh. You can sell anything on eBay.
Anything!
So who owns it now?
Well, as of 2017, the owner is Zach Bagans,
Of course.
the paranormal investigator.
Right.
And he keeps it in like a special containment room
Smart.
in his museum in Vegas.
Of course. Of course he does. All right, let's move on to a slightly less creepy object.
Okay.
I'm kidding. This next one freaks me out. The Busby stoop chair.
Yeah, another classic.
Oh my gosh. Like the quintessential death curse.
Well, you can't sit on this one.
Right. This isn't like, oh, you'll have some bad luck. You sit in it and you're done.
Pretty much.
So how did this very normal looking chair become like this thing of nightmares? Give us the backstory.
Okay, so it takes us back to 1702 in a little village in England.
Okay.
And there was this guy, Thomas Busby. He was sentenced to death for killing his father-in-law.
Oh my.
Yeah. So on his way to be hanged, he stopped at his favorite pub for a last drink. And as he was being led away, he stood up, pointed at his favorite chair, and said, "May sudden death come to anyone who dares sit in my chair."
Oh no. Talk about holding a grudge.
I know, right?
So did people actually like buy into this curse?
Oh, yeah, they did. The chair was super infamous in that area.
Right.
People would tell stories about the people who didn't listen.
And I'm guessing it didn't end well.
Not well.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there are even rumors that in World War II, RAF airmen would refuse to sit in the chair.
Oh wow.
They thought it would give them bad luck.
Like better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
Right. Especially when it comes to a chair that could kill you.
Exactly.
So what happened to it? Did someone finally get rid of it?
So in 1978, after years of accidents and weird stuff,
Right.
the owner of the pub decided to give it to a museum.
That was probably a good call.
Probably smart.
I would not want that liability.
No.
So it's just hanging out in a museum waiting for an unsuspecting tourist.
Not quite. They decided to hang it from the ceiling,
Oh, yeah.
so no one can sit in it.
Smart. That's
Yeah.
one way to do it.
Right.
So we've covered some of the bigger names in cursed objects.
The classics.
But what about the ones that haven't quite reached that level of fame?
Right.
I bet you've got some stories.
Oh, yeah. I've got a few that will definitely pique your interest.
Okay.
Get ready to dive into a world of lesser-known but equally creepy cursed objects.
Hit me with it.
Mm.
All right, lay it on me. What other creepy cursed objects are lurking out there?
Okay, so buckle up, because this one takes us all the way back to 3500 BC.
Oh, wow.
To the island of Cyprus.
Okay.
Archaeologists found this limestone statue.
Mm-hmm.
They called it the Woman from Lem. And it's really beautiful. Like, it's a great example of ancient art,
Right.
but it comes with a reputation
Oh, no.
that you really don't want to mess with.
Okay, so we're talking more than just like a series of unfortunate events here.
Oh, yeah, this one's got a body count.
What?
Yeah, it's been linked to the deaths of at least 4 families who owned it.
No way.
It's even got the nickname the Goddess of Death.
The Goddess of Death.
Yeah.
Okay. I did not sign up for this. But, like, how did they die?
Each owner died not that long after they got the statue.
Oh, my gosh.
We're talking heart attacks,
Oh, no.
freak accidents, weird illnesses that came out of nowhere.
So it followed them everywhere.
That's what they say. It seemed like no matter where it went, tragedy followed.
You would think after, like, the second family, maybe this isn't...
Right, like maybe it's time to let this one go.
Yeah.
But there's something about these ancient things. It's like they pull you in, you have to know more.
It's like they call to us, even when we know they're dangerous.
Exactly.
So what happened to this Goddess of Death statue?
Well, that's the weird part.
Oh, no. Don't tell me it's lost.
That's the biggest mystery. The last owner was an archaeologist
Of course.
from America, and he knew about its past, but he still took it home with him.
Oh, no.
And he died a few years later.
Oh, my God. Are you serious?
Yeah, and after that, the statue vanished. Poof. Gone.
You're kidding.
Some people say it was destroyed,
Hopefully.
but others think that it's hidden away somewhere.
In some private collection.
Exactly.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, well, how about something a little less ancient? We talked about that painting earlier.
Right.
The hands resist him.
Yes. The hands resist him. The eBay haunted painting.
The what?
The eBay haunted painting.
They put that online.
Oh, yeah.
What were they thinking?
It caused a big scene online.
Yeah.
Not just because it was supposed to be cursed, but it's also really creepy to look at.
So, like, what are we talking about here? What is it a painting of?
So picture this. It's a boy and a doll standing in front of a glass door.
Okay.
And people say that their faces would move, like when you weren't looking at it.
No, thank you.
Right. Super creepy.
I don't like that. Did anyone ever figure out if it was actually haunted? Or was it all just a big joke?
I don't know. That's the thing, right?
Right.
But the listing on eBay read like a horror movie.
I bet.
All these crazy things happened in the seller's house after they got it.
I mean, what do you expect? What did they think was going to happen?
Yeah.
And someone bought it.
Someone bought it for over $1,000.
No way.
Yeah. And then all these articles and stories started coming out. They even made a horror movie based on it.
You're kidding?
Yeah, it was a whole thing. But the new owner never said much about it, so who knows?
I think I'll stick to buying my art at the museum.
Probably safer.
Before we run out of time, we have to talk about that diamond you mentioned.
Right, the Black Orlov.
Tell me it's not cursed too.
It wouldn't be a proper cursed object episode if we didn't talk about the Black Orlov.
Right.
The story is that it was stolen from a Hindu shrine, ripped right out of the eye of a statue of Brahma.
You would think people would learn. Don't steal from sacred places.
You'd think.
So what happened to the people who had it?
Oh, it's a whole thing. Suicides?
No.
Accidents?
Oh, jeez.
People losing all their money?
So is it safe to assume no one owns it now?
Someone does. It's in a private collection. But it's been in museums, too. It's a beautiful diamond.
Right.
But it's a good reminder that the most beautiful things can have the darkest histories.
It's like the saying goes, be careful what you wish for.
Exactly. Or be careful what you buy on eBay.
That's probably good advice. I mean, seriously, these stories really make you think, are cursed objects real, or is it all just in our heads?
Right. It's a question as old as time. Maybe it's both.
Maybe it's the stories themselves that make it real. The power of believing.
Right.
That's what makes this stuff so fascinating.
It really is. It makes you think about history and psychology and, yeah, maybe even the supernatural.
Well, thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into cursed objects.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
It's been enlightening and just a little bit terrifying. And to everyone listening, be careful what you bring home. You never know what kind of history might be attached to it. Until next time, stay curious, but maybe leave the antique shopping to someone else.